Isaac and I don't plan on showing our kids on social media.
I love that you're gonna do that because you could milk the shit out of that if you wanted to.
Well guys, today's a shocker. Today we are looking at a TikToker who decided to go back on their word after they realized going back on their word would be pretty lucrative for them career-wise and money-wise. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time that's ever happened. Now, as a person who does YouTube for a living, there's sort of an unwritten rule amongst YouTubers that when you're talking about TikTokers, you have to treat them as lesser than. Okay, look, I didn't make the rules. I'm pretty sure it was in the contract. I didn't read it. As the newcomer, as the new kids on the block, YouTubers and streamers have to kind of be mean to TikTokers out of principle. It's sort of like when an NFL team takes the rookies out for dinner and they leave them with a huge bill, except our jobs are fake and we don't go to dinner. So it's pretty much just like that. So occasionally you talk about a TikToker, you're gonna be a little bit harsher than you might a YouTuber. It's just part of the game. However, today is one of the few instances that we are talking about a TikToker who did something that's bad in the real world, not just within the confines of TikTok. Now, some of you might recognize the name Allison Kuch. If you don't worry. You're just fucking up the entire video, but that's fine. She is a TikToker who's in that genre of TikToker who I feel like is best described as being famous for being famous. Like, she's one of those vicarious vloggers, I call them, who kind of just documents her living a wealthy life and people watch the videos, I guess, to sort of live vicariously through her. I don't know, that's my guess. She's married to an NFL player, or I think he used to be an NFL player. He's a free agent right now, probably not gonna get signed again, I don't think. But you know what? I don't know. I'm not a GM. What I do know, though, is about a year ago, they had their first child. And during the pregnancy and the first few months of the child's life, Allison was very, very vocal about how this kid is never going to be on social media, which is not a luxury that most children of social media stars are afforded. So I thought that was pretty cool. She made multiple videos. She went on podcasts talking about it. She was like, I'm gonna set this trend. I'm gonna be part of the new wave of keeping children off social media, which I think is a super, super good idea. Children should not be put on social media, especially not the children of famous people. It's just something that literally never needs to happen and is only ever done to benefit the parents because people are fucking weird and people can make money off of the videos they post of their children. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm sort of talking about this like I was really with the shits, like I was really in the know when it came to what Allison Kuch was doing with her children. Cards on the table, I did not know who Allison Kuch was until a couple of days ago, but I did some digging and I found some clips of her explaining her stance on all of this, what she plans to do, and I'm gonna show them to you because if I don't, what we're really talking about today probably is not gonna make much sense. Please subscribe.
Isaac and I don't plan on showing our kids on social media.
I love that you're gonna do that because you could milk the shit out of that if you wanted to.
Foreshadowing. Maybe it's the interviewer's fault. I didn't even consider that. Maybe Allison hadn't even considered that and she's like, holy shit, she's right.
Oh my God.
Literally and figuratively.
So many people already are like, oh my God, I can't wait to see your baby and what it looks like. I'm like, that's weird.
Okay, so if you remember nothing else from these clips I show you, I need you to remember what she just said. Talking about how weird it is that people want to see her baby so badly, okay? Just keep that in mind.
It's funny because I don't think I've ever said that out loud.
You're thinking your plan is like just not to involve them.
I'm sure like maybe their face gets slipped up or like maybe I post a picture, but like I will never do an ad for my child. Now, if I want to do an ad for diapers and my child's not in the video, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not going to exploit like my kid. Why don't you go out and you work and you do the ad and not involve your child? I'm like, are you putting all that money away for your child? Like if you're making a video of only your child, is that ad money going just to them?
This is a wonderful thought-provoking question, and I would really like the opportunity to ask this to Allison, because that's exactly what she's done.
Because they're doing the video, not you. I follow Bobby Atloff, and she does not show her kids at all. She like pretends that her kid's name is Concrete, or maybe it is, we don't know. But I'm like, I respect that so much because that's her job. It shouldn't be her child's job to make money for the family.
So, I mean, on the surface, this seems like a very respectable take, right? Without the knowledge of knowing that she's going to go back on everything she just said, this is a pretty fair stance. Don't worry, though. It does get worse.
Why will I not be showing my daughter on social media? Hesitated even making this video because I don't want to draw attention to it. At the end of the day, it's just a decision my husband and I have made, and we don't really have to share our reasoning why with the internet.
But I'm going to because something TikTok ad revenue, probably. I don't know.
I am already so protective over her. All comes down to what's in the best interest of her. Husband and I just could not find one positive to her being on our social medias. As much as I would love to share how fucking cute she's gonna be, it just doesn't benefit her.
Okay, so this is something that I think we can all objectively agree upon. Like, I don't think there's really a whole lot of room for discussion here. I feel like we can all say the truth of this statement that posting her kid online is not going to benefit the kid is not going to change over time. Like, that's a pretty static statement. I think that's an important thing to consider because, as we know at this point, she is going to post her child online, and you've got to think, why is that then if she's so of the stance that it doesn't benefit the kid at all? Obvious answer, TikTok page might have started to die down a little bit, it seems, based off the views. What's an easy way to get them back up? Show your weird fans the kid that for some reason they want to see pretty damn bad. Even though you've acknowledged that that's a really weird thing to want.
Maybe in the future there's a family photo we post, or you might see her in the background. I've actually shared on Instagram that we're not going to be showing our daughter, and I've gotten some feedback like, oh, why are you exploiting your pregnancy, or why are you talking about being a mom so much? Talking about being pregnant and talking about being a mom is my experience, and at the end of the day, my social media, my husband's social media is a reflection of what we want to post, our lives, what we're going through. So will I be posting about being a mom and newborn life and things like that? Yes, I'm sure. It just doesn't need to include her face to be a video. And I do believe there is a huge difference between private and secret, and we plan to keep her private, but she's not a secret. At the end of the day, I don't hold judgment against anybody for what they choose to do because I'm just worried about my family's little bubble, me, my husband, and my daughter.
Okay, so the first time you watch these clips, honestly, first impressions are pretty good. Seems like a responsible person who recognizes their position on the internet in the world and is doing what they need to do to protect their child from the negatives of that space. Hard to ask for more, right? Well, no, because at the end of the day, what we asked for wasn't given. Actually, the opposite was given. Because the other day, Allison uploaded a 1 minute long video, including multiple videos of her daughter, showing her face and her growing up throughout the year. Now, it's one thing to go back on a promise you made to yourself. At the end of the day, you're only disappointing yourself, you're only letting yourself down. Is it the best thing to do? No, not really. You gotta take care of yourself, but nobody can really give you shit for letting yourself down, right? Like, if it's not affecting anybody but you, who cares? That is unfortunately not what this is. Allison, and her husband, I guess, made a promise to their child that they were not going to do this. She made clear multiple times that she understands the risks. She knows that there's weirdos on the internet. She knows why she shouldn't do this, yet she chose to do it anyways. And who knows the reason why? Could it just be because she really wanted her fans to see the baby? Sure, maybe. Could it be for money? Could it be for clout? Who knows? What matters is that she did it, and she's on record saying she knows all the reasons why she shouldn't. And the reasons that she shouldn't have done this made themselves very clear very quickly. I'd like to go through some of the comments that were left on this video as a demonstration as to how fucking batshit crazy some people on the internet can be, and also to show just how deep some people allow themselves to get sucked into these parasocial relationships. It's crazy. Now, normally in a situation like this, I would censor the names of the TikTok comments I'm reading, but today, not gonna do it. You guys are weird, okay? You decided to leave these weird ass comments on a public TikTok, live with it, all right? Her precious face was worth the year wait. Really. A random baby of a random person you've never met in your entire life was worth waiting a year for. That's something you qualify worthwhile of a 1 calendar year long wait. Okay, that's normal. You trusted us with her. She's beautiful. How delusional can you get? As if she's only showing her followers the baby, as if this is somehow like a private video that you had to prove yourself to see. This is a public video that 10 million people have seen. There's no trust here. This has nothing to do with you guys, and if you believe it does, you need help and you need real human relationships in real life. Scotty, your TikTok aunties have been waiting for this. Sounds like a padded room's waiting for you. I love that you guys gave yourself the privacy you deserved and shared her beautiful face when you were ready. That baby is so loved, OMG. Yeah, because fuck the baby, right? It's all about the privacy that they deserved, not the baby, right? That seems healthy. I watched this 816 times. I hope that's the amount of charges that you receive one day. Why am I crying seeing her? She's the cutest. Probably because you have something severely wrong with you. Maybe access to an iPhone is not something you should be granted. And all of that is really just the tip of the iceberg. You'll notice that all of the comments that I read have replies, and you might be thinking that those replies are people saying, hey, you should not say that because it's weird. No, they're not at all. They're all just agreeing with these people and egging them on. And I would like to extend a formal, you guys are all all freaks. This is weird ass behavior. Never should you ever be this invested in a person's life who you do not know. Hell, I don't even think I'm this invested in the lives of the people I do know. I think at the end of the day, people who make content like this really rely on the existence of parasocial relationships. Like this kind of content where you're documenting every single thing you do, everything that's going on in your life. It just would not be the same. It would not have the same audience if people did not find themselves in parasocial relationships. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that everybody who watches this kind of content is in a parasocial relationship, but I think to some extent, you're just not going to care about the minute details of somebody's life that these sort of videos give you if you're not just a little bit too invested in these people's lives. I don't know. At the end of the day, however, other than calling them weird and people who should probably get off the internet, I feel like you can't really put any more blame on the audience because Allison said she knew this was gonna happen. She literally bullet pointed all of the risks involved in doing this, talked about how weird people can get, and was still like, you know what? It's worth the TikTok ad revenue. Let's do it. And what's insane to me is at the end of the day, if she would have just never said any of the shit that she said, nobody would care. Unfortunately, plastering your child all over social media is so normal these days that nobody would have even thought twice about this if she didn't make this huge stance of how she's never gonna do it and how doing it is a terrible, unsafe thing to do. Shot herself in the foot, really. Well, guys, what do you think? Am I overreacting? Am I getting too caught up in petty TikTok drama? I'll stop you right there. The answer is yes, I am. That's actually kind of my job. In the grand scheme of things, this is probably not the biggest deal ever. It'll be forgotten by the end of the week, and there's hundreds of thousands of people I could make this video on, or at least part of it on. The big thing here is that this is just a pretty well-known TikToker who told every single person, I know the risks, I know why I shouldn't do this, we've thought about this a lot, we've weighed the pros and cons, and there's no pros, and then still decided to do it anyways. That is the danger of social media in action.
If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.